Alright, so I've given myself ample time to be able to let this film just sit with me so I could think about all my thoughts on this film. I've done my research as far as reading up on articles about this movie. I've watched plenty of Ending Explained videos on this film itself, and now I feel like I am fully ready to discuss my thoughts on this film itself. And I am still sitting here in complete shock because the message of this movie is the strongest, most powerful thing about it, and it only gets stronger the more I think about it. But the execution of the movie, however, wasn't my favorite. So, either way, I saw the TV glow. Let's get on the review. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review of I Saw the TV Glow, starring Justice Smith, I believe her name is Bridget Lundy Payne, Fred Durst, and Danielle Deadweiler, and it was directed by Jane Schoenbrunn. Hopefully I'm saying that name correctly. And look, our story follows a young adolescent teen who essentially is not allowed to watch this specific TV show, but he finds out through another peer of his that this show is actually freaking amazing, and he gets hooked on it. And so basically he always sneaks over to her house to watch it. They bond over it, but then he starts to realize as his life goes on, maybe this nostalgic addiction to this TV show that he has isn't the most healthiest thing in the world, and it could be keeping him from his actual potential. It could be keeping him from living the life he's supposed to live. It's keeping him from doing a lot of the things that could actually make him feel free and not trapped in this world. But of course, he keeps using this show as an escape from reality, which of course I can relate to so much because I use movies as an escape to reality. And that's honestly the best way I can describe the plot, that honestly these two teens get lost in this amazing TV show, and they realize that they start to go on separate pathways, realizing that, okay, maybe I shouldn't just be stuck to this thing. I should actually go live it out. And the other one's just completely stuck in the sense of, I just have to keep watching this movie or this TV show. Like, I just love being in front of the TV and just letting life pass me by, stuff like that. That's really the best way I can describe it, because, I mean, there's so much that goes into this movie. There's so much that's going on in this movie. It's a lot of complexity that goes into this movie itself. And like I said in my intro, the message for this movie is the most powerful thing that I think, or the most powerful message in a movie I think I've received this year. It's truly a very gut-wrenching, heart-mounding type of message where it truly gets you to think about the way you're living life. And especially if you are addicted to certain television shows, if you're addicted to that nostalgic feeling of rewatching your favorite TV shows, beyond that, if you're addicted to watching movies like I am and you use them as sort of an escape from reality itself, at some point that could become your reality and life would just pass you by, and the stories that you are living through on the television set, you really start to believe that's real life, and that's just not necessarily how it goes. And then you find yourself 20 years down the road seeing that life completely passed you by and you have done nothing with yourself. And it could be a very scary thought. Like, I've had plenty of time to let this movie sit with me, because once it ended, if I would have did my review right after this movie ended, I would have just probably been pretty upset, because, like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the execution of this message. I got the subtle hints that this is what the message was of the movie throughout the film itself. There are very subtle hints, and there are some obvious hints too. Like, there are characters that say certain things. You know, I'm not trapped. It's not the Midnight Realm, it's the suburbs. That's one of my favorite lines in the movie. But it's just, this movie truly, honestly, just blew my fucking mind in the best ways and the worst ways possible, just because, like I said, the execution of this message was not it wouldn't be the way that I would go about telling this story. But of course, this is not my story to share. To give a little background on the movie itself, the director who directed this movie, they're trans, and the reason that's so important is because they made this movie while they were in the process of transitioning, and this is a very key pivotal moment in the director's life. This is a very key pivotal moment in the director's story that they're sharing, and clearly you can tell that this story means so much to them, because this is the most abstract, out of the box type way to tell a story like this. But I truly did enjoy what they were going for in this film. Like I said, it's just personally, the execution of it did not resonate with me whatsoever. I'll say this: Justice Smith and Bridget Lundy Payne, absolutely murdered their performances in this movie. The performances are phenomenal. Justice Smith plays these characters so well. And honestly, it's like the weird little shy, just introverted adolescent type roles that he just really knocks out of the park. He does it so well. Justice Smith is an immensely great talent. He really showed his ass off in this movie here. There's a lot of weird shit that the movie has him doing, and sometimes I really couldn't even process how he was able to take the direction that the director gave him and do what he did with the material, but he did such a phenomenal job. But the person that I felt like really stole the show was Bridget Lundy Payne as Maddie. There's a particular monologue that she has in this movie that is completely the focal point of the entire movie, and it's something that you really got to pay attention to, or you'll really miss what the purpose of this movie was. Like, I truly didn't understand the full concept of the monologue when I first heard it, but as I've done the research, as I watched The Ending Explains, it all started to become more clear, and that made me like the movie a lot more once I truly understood what I was actually watching, instead of just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together as I was watching the movie, because that was damn near impossible. At some point in this movie, I really gave up trying to understand what's all going on. I just tried to leave with as much knowledge as I humanly could, but I really thought to myself halfway in this movie, I'm going to need ending explain videos, because there's a lot going on here, and it's really just clouding my mind. I don't know what to think right now, but Bridget Lundy Payne, for me, completely stole the show as Maddie. She was easily my favorite character, gave my favorite performance in this movie, and honestly, I'll say this, the movie looks gorgeous. It has a very great retro, nostalgic look to it, especially because this TV show is happening in like the 90s or whatever. I really enjoyed the weirdness and the abstract thinking that went into this movie that just really made it sort of like very A24. This is a very A24-esque movie, just really going for the weirdness and going for the emotion as far as like sadness and depression and things like that. And honestly, towards the end of this movie is really where it started to hit me a lot harder, because although I wasn't fully contemplating what was going on, I was clearly seeing that the life force is being drained from this kid as he is going through life, because he is just completely missing out on everything, and now he's just a shell of himself. He's afraid of everything. He's bad at social interactions. It's ridiculous how amazing the message is to this movie. And I know I keep, saying that, but I don't necessarily want to give away the full message of it itself. It's really just about being a shell of yourself, being buried alive, feeling like you're hiding a part of yourself that's just not that. You're afraid to express, you're afraid to truly be. And like I said, the message has not left me ever since I kept reading up on this thing. Like, the message only gets stronger the more I think about a movie like this, and it is truly a message that I think a lot of people need, especially myself. I thought this was a message that truly was very strong. It's just, like I said, the execution of it was not the best, because look, the movie had me, as far as plot wise, the movie had me in the first half. I was on board with everything going on. I was really expecting it to go somewhere crazy, and it did that, just not in the way I really expected it to. Like I said, Justice Smith is really like the highlighted portion of just how heavy and emotional and just weighing this whole, I'll keep saying message, the whole message of the movie is. Like, he is the pivotal example. His character development and what happens to him throughout the film, you really got to pay attention to feel the weight of what this movie is trying to say. And it's once you get it, it's really heavy and it won't leave you. And like I said, I personally am liking the movie more and more I think about the message itself. It's just the execution. It's just, like I said, some stuff in the plot would have me intrigued, have me hooked, and then something would happen that make me go, what? What? How, what is that? What does this mean? What is that? And the imagery in this movie is haunting. The imagery in this movie is creepy as hell. Mr. Melancholy is one of those fucking characters off Smiling Friends, as far as I'm concerned. That thing is fucking creepy, but it works. It definitely works, man. Look, the creepy imagery works. The movie makes you feel a sort of eerie feeling, and it makes you feel like there is something bigger going on here, even if you're not fully grasping what the concept or the purpose of this movie is. You know something bigger is going on, and I feel like once you fully understand what you just saw, whether it's by watching the movie itself or doing some research afterwards, you will feel the impact of this movie once you understand the concept and understand the message. And that is where the biggest part of this movie lies, just in the message itself. That is the most important part of the movie. Like I said, personally, just for me, the execution of it did not work as well, because it would have been nice to easily understand something like this, or we could have just put it in a lot more simpler terms. Yeah, they tried to use... it's like somebody using a very complex sentence to just tell you to do something very simple. That's how I would describe this movie. Just a very complex combination of words being put together in a sentence, when you really just could have said this and it would have got the same reaction. But look, overall, guys, I Saw the TV Glow as a unique experience. It is one that I feel like, if you understand the concept, if you understand, I do encourage you to read up on the movie afterwards too, because it'll make you see and resonate with everything differently that you saw. And overall, I didn't like this movie as much as I did when I first saw it, but now that I've let it sit with me and resonate with me, I like it a little more. Not that much more, but a little more. And well, for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give I Saw the TV Glow a 2.75 out of 5 stars. All right, guys, so I Saw the TV Glow. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Look, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.